and look who is here. It's our good friend Kyle Munson from the Des Moines Register. And by the way, what did you discover today?
If you pick up today's Des Moines Register, you'll see a little insignia over here in the corner that says Iowa's Best Newspaper 2016, as decided by the Iowa Newspaper Association. Congratulations.
Well, now
to
wait
the
a minute.
Register.
It's only February 15th. How do they know?
That's the competition is over.
Hands down.
I bet you guys are glad everything is done politically around here for a while.
Yeah, the Iowa caucus is it takes up all the oxygen in Iowa. I mean, the debate and the campaign town halls and everything. So I mean, we had like 1,600 members of the media just in our atrium and the office building where we are.
Yeah, you were right there in the middle of all of it.
So yeah, it's not, the circus has moved on. So it was time. It was time.
And speaking of circuses, there was another circus that happened over on the West Coast, beginning of the year, which really hasn't really died down all that much.
Yeah, it's funny. So we're talking about the Rose Bowl, of course. I mean, it was New Year's Day, and here we are. We're after Valentine's Day now, still talking about it. So it's kind of goofy. But of course, as everybody knows, the big story of the game was not the game itself so much, but the halftime, the marching bands. I mean, when was the last time we've spent a couple months talking about marching bands? I mean, that's, the band directors of the world are going, hey, finally, this works. Maybe not this particular story, but, so the Stanford band is what you would call a scramble band or a scatter band.
Right.
Not the puffy hats, not the, the neat rows and columns, but they just they barely practice. They go out there and they skewer their competition.
And this is how it's been for years.
Yeah, a friend of mine described it as it's kind of a throwback to the 60s, where it was, kind of this experimental theater art controlled chaos sort of a thing. And so that's what they've always done. So they came out on the field. It was funny. I don't know if you guys watched the telecast, but
well, the telecast kind of pulled away from it.
Yeah, so you saw you saw a couple of minutes of the Hawkeye marching band. They were doing a Queen song, and then you saw the Stanford band, and all of a sudden the camera didn't even know where to focus.
Right.
It's like, what's going on? Where are they going? Here's this dancing cow, and all of a sudden the camera just kind of, in a confused panic, kind of goes skyward into nothingness. They cuts commercial.
Because they didn't know what to make of this either.
No.
With this cow dancing across the back of the field.
But they heard the whole stadium, most of the stadium booing. The Hawkeye fans were booing, and they're like, "What's going on?" So it became this interesting, weird controversy you can't make up.
Yeah, there's the cow there.
I remember. Well, I think a lot of us were just stunned and not paying really attention to what was going on. I remember seeing the cow, but I didn't really take note of this, but I guess I'm a little concerned that we've let it go on this long. It kind of makes us, you know what I mean? It's kind
it seems like we're sore losers as opposed to being, upset by what they were doing.
Right.
No, we're just wondering, do you think the hubbub would still be the way it is now if the Hawks would have won the game?
Well, that's a good point. Had there been this amazing storyline out of the game, maybe
this is the footnote.
Yeah, some of the sentiment from the game was probably poured into the halftime show. We are so upset at the Hawkeyes losing that we hate the band even more. But so part of what's extended this too. I mean, I wrote a little something about it after the fact, but then a bill there was an attempt to introduce a bill in the legislature to sever ties with Stanford.
That was just silly. That was just a waste of time.
So that was generally the consensus, and even the leadership, on the Hill said, this bill isn't going anywhere.
Right.
We have other things to do, maybe a few other issues to tackle. So that generated this whole new response, and so I wrote something else that said, here's a better way to solve this. I will invite any member of the Stanford band that wants to come to RAGBRAI to join my RAGBRAI team this year. Come and see the state. You made fun of us. Ha ha. That's fine. We can take a joke.
We're an easy target.
Yeah, and RAGBRAI is the perfect forum for this, right? It's a goofy sort of a ride. We love musicians, so we can have bring the dancing cow. That's fine. It'll fit in.
I think it'd be great if we brought the cow.
Have you had a response?
No, so I haven't had anybody sign on yet. So Stanford band, if you're out there, there's still plenty of time. But I have heard there are Stanford people who are regularly on RAGBRAI, like apparently the head of their their publications as a regular RAGBRAI writer.
Really?
So there have been infiltrators already for many years.
Well, maybe we can get them to shake the trees or shake the corn stalks a little bit and get their attention.
Obviously, they're fun. They'd be fun people to have on.
Right.
You know, you're right. This would be perfect for them. I'd love to. In fact, hop right on the Team Shagbri bus. We've got room for you.
That's right.
It usually breaks down, but
It breaks down
If
once
you're a
in a while.
mechanic, that works as well. And if worse comes to worse, if they're jerks, we can just march them out into a cornfield and leave them.
That's right. That's right. Where are we? I don't
take
know.
off.
That's right. Go ask a cow.
So you're saying we can be an easy target because farmers, corn, cows, but we're saying if you actually come and check us out, you probably enjoy what you see.
They'll see the humanity in Iowa, I guess, or they'll have more fodder for their next halftime show. So, whichever way it works.
One way or another, it could be a win-win for everybody.
They won't be the most strangely dressed people on RAGBRAI. I know that. They'll have to step up their game.
Right.
But
Some people aren't dressed on occasion.
that's right. That's right.
All right, so when can people see your stuff in the paper?
Well, generally, it depends. Usually it's like a Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday schedule that my columns appear. But, all the time. DesMoinesRegister.com, Twitter, social, Facebook, everything. So if I'm not there, just wait a few minutes and I'll pop up.
Any other fun stories you're working on right now?
Boy, I'm going, I'm going down to Fairfield today, actually. They're having a male model search for an elderly, slender gentleman to pose for a statue. Does that make sense?
Are you part of the search? Are you trying
No,
to
I'm
be
not
that?
part of the search. No, I mean,
Okay, great.
Get the general manager in.
that's right.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
So look a preview of coming attractions.
Okay.
But it's a very, I can't make this up. Anyway,
An elderly, slender.
Well, there was a longtime
Gentleman.
resident there's a longtime former resident there who they want to honor with a statue, but they need to find a body type for the sculptor to use in making the statue. I know it sounds strange, right? But so I'm looking
Not
forward
in
to just
Iowa,
kind of
doesn't
seeing
sound
this play
strange.
out.
No.
Yeah.
You think the Stanford band made fun of us before?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
You wait till we get a
got
hold of
more.
this story.
We got more.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you
It's
so much.
always
Good luck.
fun.
Yeah, let us know if they, we'll follow you.
Yes.
If they respond to your request.
We should do a RAGBRAI update.
We'll
There
do
you
a
go.
RAGBRAI
We can
update.
do that.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you,
Thanks.
sir.